Hi, everyone. I wanted to jump on and just really quickly, off the cuff, have a little conversation, tell you a little bit about what I'm thinking. First, before I even get started with that, I want to read a very brief quote by George Eliot. And it's, okay, I'm going to just read it. There comes a terrible moment to many souls when the great movements of the world, the larger destinies of mankind, enter like an earthquake into their own lives. Now that's where we are. A terrible moment has entered our lives like an earthquake. Now, what are we going to do with that? I was listening today to a NPR On Point. And I want you to, if you have access to it, go get the podcast, listen to. It was put out on March 31st, and the title of it is "What Disasters Reveal About Hope and Humanity." And the conversation, a lot of the conversation was in terms of um, the what was it? I had it written down here. Forced opportunity. That a disaster like this is a forced opportunity. You think about different disasters in the world and some of the good that has come out of them. The Great Depression really created the social structures of Social Security. You know, there's so much that can come out of disasters. And I see the potential for great hope here. And I just want you to all join with me in this seeing the hope. And astrologically, you know, this whole thing, Saturn came along and joined with Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. The sign of Capricorn is the sign of big business and big government. And Saturn conjuncting Pluto is a moment of the beginning of a cycle of, you know, structuring power. Okay. You know, it's scary where we find ourselves. And yet, at the very beginning, I think the first post I put up about this, I talked about the fact that Jupiter was coming along into the mix as signaling to me that the ultimate result, on the other side of all of this, the ultimate result would be positive. And I've kind of sat with that and struggled with it in my own mind. Jupiter is considered the great beneficial planet. Jupiter's a tricky one. We cannot count on it to always be wonderful. We can count on it to make things big, to expand the importance of something, okay? But Jupiter has a lot to do with faith and belief and hope. Now, just in the last couple of days, I see this hope bubbling up. We see right now our government all of a sudden can help the people who need help. You know, they're taking people who are homeless and putting them into buildings that are empty in New York City. Well, you know, maybe our government needs to be doing more of those kind of things regularly and not just when there's a disaster. There's so many layers to this. But Jupiter does conjunct with Pluto on Saturday night, I believe. That is the beginning. That transit will come back 3 times throughout the course of this year. This is the first one. The last one, I believe, happens in mid-December. The middle one, I can't remember. I don't have it off the top of my head. But Jupiter conjuncting Pluto is the expansion of empowered government, empowered, you know, the expansion for the benefit. Okay, so this is the beginning of a 12-year cycle. We all need to be actively engaged in bringing hope to those who need it, in finding it in ourselves, in finding that, okay, there is some hope here. Now, yeah, disasters open a door to change. That's what they do. They open a door to change. They, and that change is, it's a global change, and it's a change in each one of our own individual lives. I was also thinking, oh, I've been thinking so much. I've been thinking so much about so many interesting things. Now, give me a second here. There was something I had put on here that I wanted to think about. Well, it seems to have evaded me. I'm going to pause here a second. I guess the other thing that I really wanted to mention is that this forced pause that we are all experiencing has some interesting benefits. For one thing, you think about people who are sick with COVID-19. One of the worst things is the inability to breathe. One thing that I'm so aware of is that I heard somewhere that in China right now, the air quality is better than it's been in many, 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 many years. There's not all the air travel, all the cars on the road. The earth is having an opportunity to breathe. And there's this interesting juxtaposition to think about, this causing us to not be able to breathe, and the planet is having an opportunity to breathe. We all need to go inside and see where this forced change is pushing us to make our own changes. After we've been indoors with our families and, in our own heads, thinking this stuff through and working through our own process with it, what are we going to be like on the other side? Are we going to want to go back to the rushing and all the maybe unnecessary activity that we've been involved with? Are we going to be able to see a little more clearly what's really important? There's a lot that is of value for us in this forced change. I understand there's a lot of people sick, and there are a lot of people that are going to die. That is an obviously extremely difficult situation. Okay. And I don't want to on any level be making light of that. But at the same time, this is a forced situation that demands change and a different perspective. It's a catalyst. It's a catalyst. It's like a conflict anywhere in our lives is a catalyst for us to find a different way to move forward, a different way. And I think that there's a great deal of reason to hope. So, where's it happening in your own chart? Where can you be of service to others? The seed that is planted right now in our culture, the seed that is planted at the Jupiter conjunction on Saturday, the Jupiter conjunct Pluto on Saturday, that's the beginning of a 12-year cycle. In 3 years, we'll have to take a direct action on what seed is planted now. In 12 years, we'll see. We'll see what real changes came of it. This isn't something that's going to resolve itself overnight. I think you all know that. So at any rate, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to say that I want us all to try to go out into the world and in whatever way you can do so safely, to go into the world and be a beacon of hope to each other, because there is great reason to hope. And much love to all of you. And yeah, I hope to talk to you soon. Okay, ta-ta, bye-bye.